Alright, hello, and welcome to... Wait, I don't have a light on. I'm so professional. Gosh. Hi. Welcome to I'm Not Trying to Kill You. I'm your GM, Ash. My pronouns are she, her, hers. And we're playing the Republic today. We are unfortunately sans Andrew, but we do have our Luke back, so I feel like that's a pretty good trade. Let's do our quick little introductions, and we'll start with Luke.
Hello. I'm finally used to being asked first.
We didn't hear a wah.
Yeah, I'm accustomed to it now. You know, I'm just navigating my blankets. There we go.
It's cold.
It was over the back of the chair, and it was really uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Good morning. I am Luke. My pronouns are they, them. I am.
I'm sorry, I didn't know it was going to happen, and it took me a second to find the mute button. Please continue. I will mute myself.
Most professional stream. I am a game designer, a professional GM for children, a cast member on this channel and other places, and a podcast host, I guess.
Actually, yes. No guessing about it. You are.
Yeah, I'm a podcast host. Who knew?
Yeah.
I knew for a while, but I couldn't tell any of you.
Yeah, it was very secret. Yeah,
it was secret.
Also, last time I wasn't able to make it, but I did get to see a very exciting musical.
Which musical did you get to see?
In the Heights.
I don't know this one.
Lin-Manuel Miranda's first musical he wrote while he was in college about Washington Heights in New York. It's a fucking great show, and it was a real good production. I cried several times, but then I always cry. So.
Cool. Hey Anya, how you doing?
I'm good. I, like always, don't have anything going on with my internet stuff, but yeah.
You're designing a game.
Hey Anya, what are your pronouns?
Oh, that's right. I use she, her.
Yeah. Cool. All right. Sean, what's the deal? How's your blender?
My blender's intermittent. I'll try to keep the mute button on spot. Blender's done. Okay, cool. Sorry about that, Insomniac Red. And everybody else. That's all good. I'm Sean. I use he, him pronouns. What am I up to these days? I just finished a playtest. A several week playtest of Agon on our channel Actual Play, and the end result of it was, oh shucky darn, I've got to go play 12 hours straight with John up at his place to test out the advancement track and see if a 12 session campaign will actually work the way we want it to. So
gosh, how awful for you.
I know,
having to play games with John Hoffa.
It's real bad. So I'm looking forward to that in a couple of weeks, and then con season takes off in a just silly way. So all the cons.
Yeah, because you'll have all your cons during the summer, don't you?
Yep. I've got 2 in May, and then 1 per month till 20,000 million and 2. I don't know. Just keep going. So
that's wild.
So yeah, looking forward to all that stuff. Should be real fun.
I think I worked out how to make a button that resets all the checkpoints in the Agon sheet, and I'm super happy about that. Also, did you check out? I don't know if we had this last time, but did you check out my sweet new pronoun tech for the Roll20 sheets, where now it automatically puts sets the character names to be your name and then your pronouns. I don't know if you.
I saw that in the Agon sheet. I haven't seen that in this sheet yet. I'm excited about that.
So so now when people, we can have a separate name and pronouns thing, but then it shows up in the list of characters so that everyone can see the name and pronouns, which is cool.
Very cool. Thank you.
So, as far as our characters go, we didn't get to see a lot of characters last week. What we did see of them was my slightly pantomime Luke impression.
I thought it was a pretty spot on for Luke impression. It was warm. It was gracious. It was like, come to me here. Stop. Yeah.
But I'm trying to remember where we left off specifically. We basically left off like ready to go to the big event, didn't we?
There's a big event?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm excited. I love parties.
But
There's
I feel like we should have a scene where like people come and check in with like come and see Carrick's before going to the big event, and like so that Carrick's can be like informed as to what's happening and things like that.
Yeah, I mean, I think the only reason why Carrick's wasn't involved last session is because Luke wasn't present. I mean, it wasn't like anything that we did was like not something.
Let's exclude Carrick's. Yeah,
right.
I think is there some level of last preparation thing that we can like involve Carrick's in?
There's one big thing, and that's something that like I don't know that we would want to do or not. But that is, we've talked several times about whether or not we wanted to try and get Risa an armband that actually would look like or actually be a real one, because right now Rise's citizenship is contingent upon nobody questioning that or calling it out, being like, oh well, you look the part, so you're probably fine. But at this fancy ball, that might
I think I have a solution to this problem.
So I think what I want to open on then is the soup kitchen.
Yes.
Because I think
before we open, isn't there a procedural thing of momentum?
There is a procedural thing we have to do at the start. You're right.
Yeah.
I forget that it's a start of game thing and not an end of game thing, but it is a start of game thing so that we get our Thank you very much for remembering the rules of this game.
Also, we should probably review safety procedures.
Yes, which is part of this mechanism.
Oh yeah.
And I was just looking at the Roll20 sheet and being like, we don't have very many coins. I want more. Oh yeah, there's a way to get them back. It's following.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Also, I would like to put a bit in Ash. We don't have to necessarily immediately start doing this. I feel like it should be part of the game that at the beginning of every session you have to read the awesome litany.
Oh right, no, I'm not doing. We're not doing.
I'm not necessarily saying we should do it on stream, but I feel like that should just be a thing you have to do in the game to get everyone in the space.
The litany is the litany. I would do that if the litany weren't as long as it is. If they were like an abbreviated version or something. Cool.
You might want to make one. You might want to.
Yeah, I hear you asking. Yeah. Can someone abbreviate the litany for me?
Yeah, I mean, just so that there's a frequently said thing that people can say that's kind of in character as well, but that isn't the length of the litany. Some version of it that is.
It's the Polaris thing, right? Like ritual phrases are really fucking powerful.
Yeah, definitely. Now Luke was asking for a copy of the rules again, weren't you?
Yes, cool. I have forgotten how to play this game. I think I do remember how to play this game.
Then it is in the Zoom chat for you. And
thank you.
All right, so under momentum and rest. There we go. Why is that not the version that I thought it was? That's frustrating. Let me find the version that is the actual current super latest version, because I'm very organized as a person, and I have my life together. That's the thing that is
all these difficult falsehood tests are very good for you advancing the skill, Ash.
I'm not an erratic person at all. I wouldn't say.
No, I think there is no
Emily is looking in the distance.
There's no normal truth test. But it's not an ugly truth. So you just don't get any advancement for that.
All right.
That's it.
Cool. I am loading up the literal GDoc version because I can't find the PDF of the latest version.
The PDF.
Yeah.
The portable document format.
Yeah, the portable document format. In Adobe's defense, right? The PDF was in the 90s, revolutionary.
It was pretty sweet.
To be like, oh my god, I can read this on both a Windows machine and a Macintosh? That's crazy.
The fact that it took people so long to figure out that like all games should be released in that format was actually really bizarre. Like if you think about it, like why weren't we making games and publishing them digitally the moment PDFs existed? Like what?
Why
like to
do
imagine
companies
I like
like
to imagine
Wizards of the Coast still not do so?
I feel like
Looking at you, Mike Mells.
suggestion. Luke Crane is secretly in a cabal with the wizards.
With Mike Mells.
With Mike Merles, and they cast a spell. And that made it so that PDFs...
I think they have very different reasons for not making PDFs.
Yeah.
Very different reasons.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean they can't be a cabal.
That's
right?
true.
Like,
That's
everyone
true.
can come to the cabal with their own needs and motivations.
Yeah, they have their own motivations for the same goal.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. Okay. So at the start of each session after
What
the
are we
first,
doing?
we go over our safety signs and protocols again. So we have two main safety signs, which is the word red card or X card. And if you are struggling with words, if you're not non-verbal, hand palm up to the camera. So that we know that you're struggling, and we will elide or skip past or whatever that content. We'll just double check in with you what that you want us to like avoid hitting in future. If you get to that point, but it's like a thing you want to work through, that's cool. Talk to us about that and just be like, hey, look, this is really tough, but I want to like work through it. Can we like play it at a bit of a remove or things like that? So those are all options that we have. Now, we do need to recap what happened last session so that we can get our sweet sad time tokens. Who wants to help us with a recap?
Me. Aha.
Yeah, that's no.
I can recap. Is there a mechanical way we recap, or is it just a recap?
Just like a basic like outline of events, I think. And I feel like we could have that like semi in character in that like so like what does it look like when Rice and Shardy like come in through the door into the soup kitchen and are like, blah, this is like what's happening, what's going on. Do
we want to set this right after the shopping trip?
Yeah, I think so. Like that way that we can have a diegetic mechanical thing here.
Yeah. So is it morning? Is it afternoon? Someone give me some context. Let me picture
I think it's probably like just after the breakfast rush. And I think
Okay.
I think it's the next day after that.
Okay. Yeah, so the place is cleared out and Carrick's is butchering an animal.
Yeah.
Like on the counter and like breaking down a carcass.
Cool. Yeah. So what do Shardy and Risa look like as they come in?
I think Shoddy's laughing. I think she's sort of giggling, and
something must be wrong.
And she is, she stops at one point when we get in because I think it was kind of windy out as we were coming back, and she sort of fixes Rice's hair a little bit that's kind of come out when it's like all been pushed back. So it sort of does that in a affectionate manner. And yeah, she seems to be in good spirits because
is she holding the dress?
She is, but it's in like a paper wrap.
Okay, yeah.
So it's all and it's got like twine around it. Like it's all protected because you wouldn't want to expose it to the elements. So she's definitely holding a big parcel, and it's like clearly a. I mean, it's a dress, obviously, but even without knowing that, you would know that like it's not a hard parcel because
it's bendy, right?
It's bendy and it has some squish in it, and So she comes in and sets it down on a table, and just obviously been like, and like not necessarily talking about that exact thing which just happened, but it's like, and did you see that other person who was gawking? Yeah, just sort of remarking on like the encounter because it was quite nice.
Yeah, it was quite something. So strolling in from the door, you see in what are the colors I can't remember. They're
It's the old
red,
colors, so it's
right?
red and black.
No, we said it was the new.
Oh no,
colors.
it's the new ones. Yeah, blue and gold. Yeah.
Blue and gold.
Yeah, so you see a person who you recognize their face. You recognize Rice's face, but in a fine blue and gold uniform, strolling in with a quite a straight back, and yeah, laughing along with Shadi, and yeah, making sure that their hair is perfectly up and no bits are sticking out, and yeah, this young military sergeant is standing in the soup kitchen.
Yeah, I think we just get a shot of Carrick's looks up and considers the both of you, but the knife is just continuing to work. And they're I think deboning a haunch of lamb or something.
Nice.
And yeah, the knife is still working away without stopping and nowhere near their fingers. They just look up and quirk an eyebrow.
Yeah. I want to have the conversation where we're explaining all this stuff right behind the splatter screen, right? So we're standing right behind the wall of, but we're still talking as you're doing this thing. I mean, this is definitely not the first time we've seen you sleep.
Oh yeah, God no.
This is a common affair. So just like in Law and Order, no one ever stops to do whatever they're doing while someone is telling them something. They're always
exactly.
It's so I saw the guy as
yeah. It's a little bit Aaron Sorkin in that manner.
Yes.
And I like to think that because this is such a routine thing, even when the time comes when Carrick starts taking the ribs off the thing and there's these loud cleaver noises, you're syncopating your words to fit in between without missing a beat.
Yeah.
It's so just like I was saying, chunk. Then we saw the thump.
Yeah.
Right?
There's there's a rhythm, a domestic rhythm to we have done this before, which I really like.
So to maybe cut into the middle, of the story, cut to that section, right? So instead of saying Carrick, this is everything you missed out on, it was, what was his name? Integravertus, just royally gave me the dressing down and reminded me not only am I not a citizen, but that I'm not even worthy of being married to a citizen, and that I was presumptuous for making that assumption that I would ever be seen as desirable to anyone of his lofty status,
particularly savage Cleaver Thunk.
Yeah, right.
Because the thing is,
she's laying it on pretty thick too.
the thing is that she's she had this experience of she went there prepared to face Victus, right? The Justice, and Integravertus was there, and Integravertus shut down Victus and then shut down Shard. Right. It was nah, fuck all of you. So yeah.
Where did the invitation come from?
And then the invitation came from our hopefully friend, Dracon Poulos.
Yes.
And
so then when the invitation arrives at Shadi's door from the esteemed Poulos family,
which and so Carrick has no idea about the invitation.
Yes.
So
yeah.
Carrick is just okay, I am taking this in.
Yeah. So of course we would need to show Shadi, show that Shadi is worthy of such attentions.
So yeah, there's an invitation to Dracon Poulos is a a colleague or peer of Dominus, but he happened to be out fighting wars when the revolution happened, and specifically didn't make any political statements, so he's now considered still popular, even though he's a part of the old guard. And so he's come back home and he's he's having a party to invite all of his old friends. And no one's quite sure if he's intentionally doing this or not, but he's inviting a bunch of people that were that are kind of a bunch of people who are currently popular and a bunch of people who are currently pariahs because they were part of the old regime.
Yeah.
And it's gonna be big fancy do. It's gonna be and Shadi has been given an invitation because of her connection to Dominus.
So I'm not saying that I want a man to give me permission to be noticed and respected, but again, between the thongs, right? Like, but Dracon may be a good ally. Who knows? He's the first citizen that seemed to, perhaps it's an accident, but who seemed to care at all. So we're hoping to make a good impression. Thus, and she sort of like does like a silhouette of Rise, like doesn't touch Rise, but kind of like does like the form of Rise, right? Wearing Pyrrhus's old uniform, I now have an appropriate, and she sort of rolls her eyes really hard when she says it, a company to attend me at the party, an appropriate date.
A proper man, one might say.
Well, I wasn't quite going there, but yes, that's what I. Sorry, the innuendo wasn't thick enough. Wasn't thick enough. Yeah, and it's going to be expected, and I don't mean to be debasing about this, Garrix, but it's going to be expected that I will probably come with servants as well.
I think they smile and nod and say no debasement more than they already try, and it will be good for the two of you to have an unexpected ally should you need one.
That's really what I was thinking as well. I want to be around friends, even if it's under false pretenses, when we're there, because frankly, I don't know about all of you, but the pillars of this community are very hard to shake, and I feel like this is a chance to do that. I think
they nod, and they're mostly done with the butchery, or at least at a stopping point, and so they quickly go over and sluice their hands clean, and we get a little bit of for flavor, but no actual mechanical impact, water bending, to help kind of just totally scrub their hands clean.
Yeah.
And they dry them, and they reach down and they take the last of the spiced buns from the other day, the one that's still left, and hand it over the counter to Shadi.
Cool. I think she tears it in half and give half to Rise, and then
their eyes turn to Rise, and they're like, "It doesn't suit you." And there's a curl of the lip of the military.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to hit the mechanical.
And I think that's where we close out the character recap.
So, did character's marginalization appear in play, and did it happen multiple times? Because we get 2 if it happened multiple times.
It definitely came to play at least once, yes.
Yeah, Shadi's came to play in a big way in the Citizens Forum, where she was totally dressed down and beaten up and took significant damage, right?
Uh-huh.
Oh shit, Sean, are you okay? We can do a medical scene if you want to do.
No, not physical damage.
Okay.
As I understand, the battle mechanic of the Republic is that you lose dice when somebody is attacking you, as well as losing dice when you fail on rolls. And Shadi got pretty beat up by Indrica Verdus in terms of her emotional state afterwards. We did have a great kind of coming together bonding scene later. That's why there's not very many. That's why there's a lot of. I think we spent 5 of the of the coins, because we're all kind of beat up.
Damn.
But yeah, she was just sort of torn down and really publicly, because the Citizens Forum is extremely publicly declared a pariah.
Fuck that guy.
It was basically it was basically stated that no citizen would want to marry you, and like any that might would obviously be like debasing himself.
So what I'm hearing is that we should go to Integravertus's house in the middle of the night and just quietly murder him.
Or prove that he's wrong.
And we could do both.
Like either of those.
It's a two-step plan.
So I mean, like, here's the thing, right? Like, Integravertus is a pillar of the Senate. Specifically, he's Integravertus, the unchallenged philosopher. So, like, there's like,
I'm not saying I really want to challenge this guy now, but I kind of do.
Well, and I tried to, like, I didn't try to challenge him. I didn't try to like tell him he was wrong, but I tried to like, out of character, I tried to like meet up with him, and it was when the dice just decided to be like, nope, you get no successes.
Like,
you can't even take a compromise to get to hit it.
Yeah.
So I think I needed 3 because he's like a named stuffed character, and I got zip.
Yeah, he's an NPC, and he's like high ranking.
Higher tier, quote unquote.
Yeah, so he has definitely not been challenged, and at least not.
Right, cool. I'm just gonna make a note down here. Challenge Integravertus.
Yep.
Because Carix is exactly the kind of person who would just tell him he's wrong. I'm like, I want to see that. I think that would be fun.
Yeah.
Yep.
And like that's the thing is that like Integravertus's whole thing is like dismissing as if like being like, you didn't even challenge me, right? Like this wasn't even a
Well,
even just like not letting him do that is a crack in his public persona.
Right. And then Pyros isn't here, but a lot of the reason why Raisa is wearing Pyrrhus's uniform is tied back into like Pyrrhus's sort of like fall from status and the fact that he's not seen. I mean, there's like a gross part of me saying this because like Sean want to assert a value here, but clearly the society asserts a value here. He is not seen as a man because he is injured, right?
No, absolutely.
And so and that came up quite a bit. So I think it happened multiple times.
I forgot we found out the big thing about Shadi and Pyros.
Oh yeah, that was amazing. Yep. Yep.
So do you want to say the big thing? Do you want?
It turns out that while on campaign, Pyros had tried to gain the affection of gain the affection of a beautiful local woman who was then swept away by, well, not swept away, dragged away,
kidnapped,
by Dominus.
Right.
Yep.
Nice.
Yeah. So
good content, Sean and Andrew.
Yeah, that was good times. So essentially before Pyros even had a chance to like say hi, Dominus, his commanding officer, like called Ryan, like, I'm taking her. She's the one I want.
Dibs.
And, dibs. Pretty much. And Pyros never really had a chance to.
Now, don't you hate it when a citizen calls shotgun? You know, it's just like.
I mean, at the time, like.
Pyros
was a citizen, but
that's true. But a less citizen.
Yeah. Which doesn't exist. Which that only exists in the army. Obviously, we don't all citizens are equal in the Republic.
I mean, that's
theoretic. I don't think anyone would be willing to stand up and say, I am exactly as much of a citizen as Integravertus.
Right, exactly.
Right, I mean, that's the great, like self-delusion, is to say that all citizens are equal, right? Like, that is complete, like, we have the perfect half, and, like, everybody who's a citizen exemplifies all these ideals in the same exact ways. Totally,
disgusting.
There's one division. Either you're a citizen or you're not, and if you're a citizen, you're not divided anymore. And if you're a non-citizen, there's no
you
division.
Don't matter.
Then we don't give a fuck.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. So I love.
So it sounds like
that's a lie that they all tell themselves, right?
So that sounds like 2 momentum for the first question.
Yep,
I think so.
I think I've given you 2 momentum. I've given you 1. Here's the second one. Okay.
And then Integra Virtus, I don't remember being on the map the last time I looked at it.
No, I think we can add that because that was added as a part of Integral Virtus was introduced when we introduced the. It was actually in the first one because Integral.
Oh, actually, no, that's right.
Is the
Because
default.
it was the world building thing.
The default pillar for the Republic of Salt.
Sure.
So
Yeah, is the center.
Yeah.
Yep.
But were there any other like new institutions or ways institutions oppress non-citizens? Were there any other examples of that? There might not be. That's the hardest one to get, I find.
I think we did kind of imply with the fact that it was illegal for Puros to have a sword that it is illegal for non-citizens to carry a weapon.
Yeah, cool, excellent. That's a great one. Yep.
And that sounds like one that probably belongs to the military
Yeah.
structure.
I think we also retconned. I mean, it's not that's true of this republic necessarily, but we retconned we flashed back to the fact that military rank also equates to social rank in terms of being able to claim things that you want, right? Like military rank allows people rights over non-citizens in ways that are tiered and hierarchical
And gross.
and gross, super gross.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, I'm going to add disarm non-citizens as a move. We do need a pillar for that then. Do we think
Do
there
we
was
want to save that one for Andrew? And
Yeah, we'll save that one
pick
for when
pillar?
yeah, that makes sense to me. Cool. Did we shake, destroy, or fundamentally change an institution? No, because we haven't ticked the box. Did a player character act because of their calling,
Should all look at our
or
comments.
achieve their calling? Because if you achieved it, then we get like a shit ton.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like Risa masquerading as a part of the perfect half and like showing that they can be seen as the perfect half even though they aren't is a move towards fracturing that.
Yeah, cool. That sounds like one. Is there a second?
Because-
Subversive shit right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, because like they clearly like don't fit into what is considered the perfect half, but
Yeah.
people still believed them when they said they were the perfect half.
Yeah, if a non-citizen can pass as a citizen, then isn't the argument that these things are fundamentally
Right,
like
then how would-
universal opposites? Like, isn't that just a bullshit argument?
Right. Shouldn't if citizenship is such a like divine and sacrosanct thing, then how could anyone ever impersonate a citizen?
How could they be fooled? Yeah. No,
And Shadi's calling is, "I deserve to be seen, so I will gain citizenship in the Republic," and that was
Yeah, 100%.
the whole opening scene, and it was also the whole motivation for what this thing is. So
Yeah.
I feel like that was part of it.
All right.
cool.
So we've got all that. No one achieved their goal, but cool.
I did
Right.
secretly while no one was paying attention. That's what I did off screen.
I went away and achieved my goal and got 5 tokens.
Yep, I just got 5 tokens. Actually, you could just add those for me.
Just
That'd be
throw
good.
them on. Before we jump into play, I just want to ask you again about armaments and the way in which they have to be defined, because I still have a armament that I haven't defined since the very beginning, and it's just been sitting there, and what armament do I have that is beautiful?
Oh right. Yeah. You can.
And I've after last session, I have ideas about it, but I believe it needs to be something that's physical that can be taken away.
It doesn't have to be physical. It has to be something that can be taken away. Right.
So this is real weird, but I'm gonna say I think that Shadi is still the way Piero said it is that Shadi was that it's been many years since Shadi was young. And I don't think Shadi is less beautiful now, but I do think that there is a certain flame that she elicited in people when she was younger that maybe isn't seen as much now. So I think that the thing that was beautiful about Shadi is like the memory of her from back in the war, which would work on people that knew her back then, which
Yeah.
right now is like two in the setting, Pyros and Dracon, but I'm fine with that if that's.
Yeah,
I mean, I
that's
think
cool.
it could. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm going to say the memories of her beauty.
Yeah, cool.
And it can still
Yeah,
help her
nice.
as well. She can remember when she was younger. And,
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, Ash,
because
remind me.
the point of the distinction with armaments is that it's separate to your like dice in your like 5 dice, because those define what is inside you and who you are and what is like who you are as a person, right? And armaments
Yeah.
are things you possess, right? You have, you hold, you pick up and put down and things like that.
Yeah, so then it's almost even like a reputation that more than it is a yeah. All right.
Yeah,
I'm like
Tales of her former beauty or something.
yeah, I think I'm gonna say tales of her beauty. I'm not gonna say
Yeah, Ash, can we use multiple armaments on a single roll?
No, you can only ever use one armament on a roll.
That should probably be in the rules somewhere.
Is it not? Let me have a look.
It's like, at the very least, it's not in the armament section, which is where one would logically look to find
Right. Okay. I think it's in the I think it's in the rolling dice section.
it. Yes, yeah, it is.
Elemental actions.
I found
Use
it.
an armament to perform. Yeah. Cool. Roll an additional dice if the armament's successful.
Does that also apply to like armaments that you create with build? So like if I use the build action to create an advantage for myself.
I mean, yes, that is the intention. Is that like theoretically you should be angling to almost always have an armament at hand. But like the point is you have to make sure that you're establishing that fictionally.
Yeah. Cool. I just wanted to check.
Yeah, like as far as the math that I've done, I'm assuming that you are good enough players, like good play. You should always be like, I happen to have this armament for this thing I'm doing, right?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
that is skilled play of this game.
Yeah.
So yeah.
All right, cool. So what's our first scene gonna be?
I feel like do Shardy
Someone wanted an
like-
armband, right?
Yeah, an armband was
Yes.
was being.
Yeah, I feel like Shadi and Rise would be having this discussion about, like, is it, and certainly with Carrick's president, like, maybe when you come back after washing your hands, it's like, is it too risky to just go right now? What's riskier, going to the party without an armband, or trying to get one from a citizen, and
Or trying to fake one.
fake one?
How long until the party?
It's like a day or two, I think.
Yeah, I feel like it was like soon.
Yeah, it's pretty.
I think Carrick's just smiles. Sometimes the shortest route is the best. We serve citizens here, yes.
Occasionally, I mean,
We serve wine here, yes.
frequently.
And they just spread their hands like there is an obvious solution to this problem.
I think that there's a cultural understanding that to take someone's armband is like probably as offensive or as egregious as it is to certainly commit like grievous injury, if not murder. Right?
Oh, yeah,
I
no,
think
like,
taking someone's
absolutely.
armband is not a casual thing. I mean, maybe a servant takes your armband at the end of the night because it's part of the.
But like to take it away.
But to take it away is
it's-
not a minor offense.
It's very it's a dehumanizing in it's dehumanizing, right? Like it's in the same way that like a bunch of like forms of like abuse and assault do the same thing, right? It's not necessarily about the bodily. It's not equivalent to bodily harm. It's equivalent to like harm to the person's existence as a human being.
Yeah,
Right.
I mean, in this society, without an armband, you are not viewed as human.
Yeah, exactly. So
yeah, but observe the limited amount of sympathy that Carrick has about any of that. Carrick's argument is not that this is a minor thing or a light thing, but it is a simple thing.
And Shuddy's counterpoint is it's a dangerous thing.
Yes, I mean, yes, that's true.
So somebody's gonna have to be very drunk to let us take their armband without them causing a major ruckus, right? Like, and she sort of looks at you and like looks down at like the bloody mess that is still left around. Like how far are you willing to go here?
And Karash is just like completely like unblinking.
Yeah, because
and then kind of like smiles and reaches down under the counter, and there's like under a certain part of the counter, it's probably where the like main chopping board is. There's like a little like hidden like drawer thing where all the like spices and like the salt and the pepper and all and the herbs and like, you know, all of the like condiments and shit are kept to cook with. And then they do something clever with their hands and like pull it out, and behind that is a place where all the medical supplies are kept. And they just pull out a vial of like a liquid that they know, I mean, anyone with medical knowledge would recognize as like a particularly powerful like opiate and anesthetic, and they just shrug. Wine, it's a malleable thing. People are affected differently.
And I think now that you have, like, so before Shoddy was, like, concerned about the logistics and the practicality of it, like, this is a dangerous thing to do. Now that you're like, oh, actually, we can do it pretty easily. I think that's, for her, when the, like, moral implications of it hit, because she does care about what that means to another person. Like, though the institutions that oppress us are shitty, that's still a person that we will be, like, killing, in a sense. Like, we will be stripping them of their citizenship. And does a random person, just because they have a lot of privilege and take it for granted, deserve that?
I mean, like, I want to point out that there is a process for, like, if your armband gets lost and destroyed, or destroyed,
for getting a new one.
There is a certain amount of like, there is a certain amount of shame associated with that, but you're still a citizen, right? Yeah.
You probably get like a probationary armband for a little while.
to show that you're responsible enough to handle it.
Yeah.
You feel like it's like your you
got like your P plates for a bit.
Yeah, there's probably a lot of victim blaming in that process, right? You're suffering. You feel bad for having lost your armband, and you feel like it's making you question like your like internal like strength and things. Well, also we're going to reinforce that by like being like, oh, you idiot, like for having lost it.
And the real like great wonderful version of this would be if we found the absolute jerk tool that we hate and lured them into this. But I don't think that person really exists. I mean, we're not going to go find Introvertus and be like, hey, you want to come have a drink? How about you?
Damn it! It's such a good idea.
Right, this is a great idea, but it's not going to happen. So it means we're going to find some random citizen and do this harm to them.
And shame them. Yes.
There's a knock on the door, and I think he's probably blonde. I think he's blonde with like green eyes, like peers in and is like, excuse me, is this place open? He's like, I can smell something delicious.
In but a moment, friend.
Yeah.
But a moment.
All the drawers close.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and like as they're speaking, like the hands just moving under the counter, putting things back.
Yeah, and
lunch is moments away.
He's like, oh, excellent. Well, and like he looks around and he's like it's very, and like he turns to talk to someone else who's behind the door and he's like, it's very rustic, but it smells amazing. And then like you hear something else and he's like, well, I'm sure they wouldn't. Everyone's heard about the new restrictions. I'm sure that's not. And like he's like, well, and yeah, he's like, well, we'll go and see it, I'm sure. And like, yeah, he leads this woman in, and yeah, he's so yeah, he's a citizen, and yeah, he's got this woman who is like, he's probably in like his late 20s, whereas she's probably not 21 yet. And yeah, he leads her in and is like, but she's obviously like of status to a certain degree.
Yeah, she's a denizen.
Yeah, exactly. And so yeah, she's like being like, this is like a kind of grimy place, and he's like, see, I told you it would be
exotic.
Yeah, he's like, see, I told you it would be fun to come down to this end of the city. There's all sorts of things that you'd never see back at home. And yeah, like he's like, do you have a menu or some you know, and like is like asking questions as if you're a fancy restaurant, because he thinks you're cute.
I actually need to think about the logistics of this particular question. Well, I don't think. I'm just trying to think, how the fuck do I actually run this place? I feel like how it tends to work is that there's a set menu that like the basic thing is just like the chef's special, which is like whatever I have made that day. Mm-hmm. And then there's certain regulars who we have like an ongoing enough relationship with that we know what they like, and we always like have it prepared for them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I would, if there are people that stick to vegetarianism in this world, then you would have likely a like meat and a vegetable.
Yeah, exactly, right? Like, so we don't have like a menu, unless like basically the only menu is the secret menu if you're one of Carrick's friends, in which case you do actually have a say about what you get. Otherwise, you just take what you're given.
Yeah, I think Shadi, because this is her role normally, will greet them and seat them at like a window seat, since it's empty and we can give them any seat we want.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's like it's a nicer seat, and tells them what the menu is, which is the thing that Carrick's just cooked up, right?
Yeah.
That's what we have tonight is
right.
A lovely with these spices and da 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 da.
So yeah, it's
And what is that? No, let me give you a moment. I got to figure out what it is. This is important to me. I feel like we gotta have this detail.
I want to hear it.
Let me think.
Because I've specifically like set up a thing knowing the things that Luke does with food, so.
Yeah, Ash is just hungry and wants me to make her hungry.
Oh no, not that.
Oh, this is exciting.
Yeah, they did mention. I don't think it's going to stop Carrick's stall, but they did
new
mention
restrictions.
The new restriction. Yeah.
What have we made today?
Well, what were you just chopping up?
What were you butchering?
I mean, I've just been butchering a thing, right? Like there was no intervening time in which to make a thing with the butchery. Like that's tomorrow's meal.
Right.
I think today is probably simpler fare, right? Like the fact that I'm butchering an animal today suggests that we are at the end of the previous lamb's like stuff. So I think it is probably just a vegetarian option today. I'm imagining like it's like a minestrone. It's like a really like hearty soup filled with like good wholesome vegetables and a lot of like grains, and it's not really spiced, but it's like a lot of herbs in it.
What kind of vegetables, Luke?
What kind of vegetables? There's definitely some carrots, some potatoes. I'm just gonna be slightly anachronistic here because I can't be fucked, restricting myself to only 300 BCE.
Yeah,
era appropriate foods.
Let's assume that the Colombian exchanges happened.
Yeah, exactly, right? Yeah, so there's I think the sauce is tomato based. There's carrot and parsnip and leek in rounds so that it's going all soft and delicious, and shredded cabbage and shredded cavolo nero, the black kale from Tuscany, and there's I think borlotti beans, and then some barley that's been cooked until it's just got a little bit of bite left to it, and there's probably some fennel and some courgette, and I think Carrick's has made a vinegared the pistou that they make in France. It's a combination of oil and herbs and nuts that's been crushed up into a paste that's then dolloped on the top that you then mix into it for added flavor. Yeah.
So yeah, Shadi gives a description of this, and he's
It's a lot of earth. It's a lot of earth and a little bit of water.
Yeah.
From an elemental
so
standpoint.
yeah, like, and I think he says, see, I told you couldn't smell onion, it's fine. And it's like, and she's like,
outrageous.
She's like, well, there are lots of very similar smells, and well, I don't want to be part of, I don't want to be part of that. I'm, and she says a thing of like, I have my morals, right? And yeah.
So some servers have a quality about them where they can be very affable and disarming, and that they can pick up on something innocuous that was said and sort of lead that into a friendly kind of conversation. And Sean, may not know exactly how to pick up on what they're saying right now, but I think Shoddy
is that person.
I think Shoddy is the kind of person that knows how to make conversation well. And so I want to tease out a little about what this is from them by saying like, oh yeah, some of our neighbors you're wise to be cautious, in a really friendly, jokey way, not like there's people around, but just like isn't it a pain? Isn't it hard that you can't tell what's safe and what's not? So I sort of want to like tease out like what's going on, and also like what's happening between them, like.
Sure.
What's this about the onions? This could be a problem.
I want to observe them, I think, and figure that out.
I'm gonna say there's two of them, but that's not like increasing. I don't think she counts as a factor. So I think this is probably, but at the same time, like, it's not your conversation, so I think that's probably a factor. So I'm thinking 3.
Absolutely. I'm if I don't do this very gracefully, it will seem like I'm butting in.
Yeah. And alternatively, if you want to, you can hit the specific circumstances move for observe, which is where it doesn't have where you get questions rather than trying to hit a specific thing, but then you can only pick from the list rather than asking me the specific thing that you want to know.
Well, maybe where is the list?
Under observe, there's the specific circumstances. So instead of me saying this is how many successes you need to like find out the thing you want to know, you just get to ask one of the questions from the list for the number of successes you get.
Got it. Let me take a look at observe.
It's basically the reader charge situation.
Yeah, I mean,
like, not to be dismissive of Ash's game, but like that's useful shared shorthand here.
Controlling the questions people can ask shapes the narrative, and in important ways. I think. Okay, here we go. What has happened recently? That would be applicable. What's about to happen? What threatens me here? What is useful or valuable to me? Who is really in control here? And what is not as what it appears to be. Okay, I like those questions.
I reckon last, fourth, and first are the crucial ones.
Cool. So cool. So right, and I don't think this is necessarily a single dot discussion, because it's the sort of thing where I sort of chat them up at first, and then I go and I get them some mugs of water, or it's lunch, so it's probably like mead or ale, like something like that.
I think it's wine.
Wine, perfect.
Like we're in the Mediterranean, it's wine.
Yeah, it's wine. And then I come back later with our food, and then that sort of thing. So this is over the course of their meal, presumably, unless somebody needs to do something more urgently. She wouldn't push it to have like a deep conversation.
I think that's fine. I think we'll resolve this, and then we'll go for our first break.
Sounds good. Yep. And then I'm going to get some stew.
I know, right?
So I would like to make a case for helping. Because the specific drug, the dosage I'm gonna give it to them in the wine.
Right. Is so you're gonna drug these two?
Yeah. So Carax's purpose here is not like I'm gonna put enough in there that they drink the wine and they just like woof, right? Like that's not the goal. Yeah. It's to use like a very measured amount, because what Carax's plan looks like is dose them just enough to like relax their inhibitions and like fog their good judgment, so that they will drink themselves unconscious and believe it was their own idea. Like, I'm just gonna, like, push off the pebble and let them start the avalanche. And I feel like that, like, relaxing of inhibitions and that, like, dulling of kind of, like, critical thinking and, like, self-control is also going to be really helpful in Shardy, like, bringing them like sponges for all the information that they have.
Yeah.
Because they're going to speak a little, like, less guardedly than they might otherwise do.
Yeah, definitely.
So I feel like I am either building or tending, like, their foolishness and, like, impulsiveness.
Yeah, you might. I'd accept building. I'm not going to accept tending because
that's fair.
Like, yeah,
yep.
I would also accept striking.
Striking.
Yeah.
I feel like striking feels more aggressive than the thing I'm doing.
That's fine. So yeah.
I think I'm building.
Cool. Sounds good.
Yeah, I'm building like foolishness and lack of restraint in them.
Nice. And mechanically remind me, is that going to add your success to my roll, or is that going to create an armament that I can? Okay, cool.
Yep, that adds successes. Like it's intentional that like helping each other is more powerful than like using tools, right? Like
perfect. No, I like
the people around you are the best armament that you can have.
Where's the people around you are the biggest tools? No, sorry, that's a different thing.
I need where's the diagram? Okay, here's the dice diagram. I just need to quickly consider what I want to do in terms of my dice choices. Okay, so I'm looking for build. I want 4, 5, 6. Or I want to learn a 12. So probably a D12 is the next best thing.
Self is really good for. Well, I'm going to be observing myself. You're going to be building though.
Yeah, I'm just going to spend 2 dice.
I see you in chat.
Oh yeah, chat's got a good game. They're like, oh, you're about to do this? Everybody do the thing.
Yeah, including you though. Really, I should make a point of like not allowing the players to like contribute.
That's a
to
good
the
point.
chorus.
That's a good point.
I mean,
Here,
you can make that call, Ash.
I will effectively negate that. You're right.
Just because.
All right, I've just taken my vote out of the mix.
Same.
Just because.
Okay.
Yeah, like specifically, it does refer to the audience, which is not you.
Right.
We are simultaneously audience and player. Like, I have a basic philosophical disagreement with that stance. But
fair. The wording of the thing is intended to mean not the
But
players.
we also have several ways of. We have several dice mechanics already.
Yeah, we have other ways of helping ourselves rather than just swaying the course of things.
Right.
This is the equivalent of when you played it at GX Ash. If one of the players had just slipped Adam $5 and then like vote for fire next, please.
Yeah, because I just had Adam and Emily just sitting there as the chorus, and then they just kept yelling fire. So
Fire, fire, fire.
There's not a way to unvote, is there? There's not a way to
I can actually do that myself. So
cool. Yeah, why don't you just take our votes out?
Ash, does my soup kitchen occupation or my knowledge of anatomy help me here?
Yes, I think you have an armament. Yes.
Yep, cool. How do I remind me how I roll that separately?
You roll the armament separately. I'll let you.
Yeah, and you tell it what you're rolling when you.
Yep. Okay. Yep. Cool. Okay. So I'm gonna roll my build, and we're gonna see how it goes.
Cool.
That was my first die that I've lost all game.
Wow.
I'm very good at this game.
Yeah.
The chorus?
On the plus side, I got a success, which is good.
Yeah. Why is the chorus not showing up?
The chorus isn't rolling with the fates.
That's a good question.
Just took
there they are. They just took some time.
I got 3.
That's not surprising considering that it has to go through like several layers for
Yeah. All right, so I got 3 successes. 1 from me, 1 from the fates, and 1 from my knowledge of anatomy.
Great, good job.
Cool. All right.
I'm helping.
You're gonna have so many questions.
Yeah,
Good.
we are. I'm gonna roll observe with self. Hey.
Woohoo.
And didn't even lose any dice.
We're gonna like fucking. They're gonna just spill their guts because I've drugged them.
All right.
Okay, you got.
So I think that's 5 questions, which is I think the number of questions that exist.
I think there's 6 questions. There's one we're not going to get.
That's fine. There were several that I
fine.
I didn't.
I mean,
there were several that I was like, hey, I don't need that.
You can also, like, instead of asking a question, you can just say, "Hey GM, tell me something valuable or valuable and new," and I just get to pick what that is, right? Like,
Oh, okay. That sounds great, because I think we'll ask a couple of these questions and then we'll say that, if that's okay.
I think that sounds like a good plan. And I'm going to write down the answers because they count as armaments, and so I want to keep them for later.
yep, definitely.
Cool. For some reason, my mouse has done this fun thing right now where whenever I try and click up a page in the PDF, it just scrolls a million times. So
neat.
I'm gonna. What page is the Observe on again? I'm gonna try and get to it and stay on.
If you go in the Zoom chat, I've linked to the HTML version.
Oh, perfect.
So
Thank
that you can just which is the very latest bleeding edge version.
It's the latest version. Okay.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Cutting edge tech.
Okay. So the thing that's specifically related to this onions business is the first thing I'm trying to figure out. So what happened here recently?
What the fuck is up with these onions?
What the fuck?
It's probably like you know the thing where they invented boring cereal because exciting food makes people want to masturbate and is bad for their morality? It's probably some weird Republic version of that shit.
So through the course of the conversation, you pick up on a couple of things that have apparently been banned from being used from cooking, and you put them together, and you're like, okay, so onions, probably ginger, I think, red ginger specifically, and you're doing this thing, and you're like, okay, it's the roots of things with flowers. Right, and specific kinds of flowers, and she says, and she says a thing of well, I think it makes sense. I won't be partial to the destruction of beauty like that.
Right, got it.
Has she even ever seen an onion flower?
I'm just gonna say, onions are not pretty.
No, but they are considered to be I think someone has suggested, and it might be Integravertus that has suggested that all of the flowers that are the things that have been listed are examples of perfect form.
Right. And it's the whole division thing where if it's a flower, therefore,
Yeah.
See, now I really want to challenge this motherfucker.
I know.
Because the root of the onion in the medical system of the Republic has medicinal benefits.
Yeah.
Yep.
I just love the idea that the aesthetic of the onion, the aesthetic of a flower's beauty trumps. I hate that word now.
Yeah. I have the same problem with the word trap whenever it comes up in in Dungeons and Dragons, and I'm like, ugh. Yeah.
Right. Can we have a different word?
Yeah.
It supersedes the value of it as medicinal and or dietary, right? That's less important than.
Yeah,
cool.
We'll see. Also, I suspect there's probably a thing about the perfect, the layered ring of the onion, the root itself. It has a certain symmetrical perfection.
And throw away the bad half. Then you can. Luke, do you want to have Carrick ask another question? I feel like we did this.
I think we're on the same page about what we the questions that we give a shit about.
Yeah.
What here is not what it appears to be.
Yeah.
She's really, she's from a really high wealthy family. She's
and he's quote unquote too wealthy to be seen with the likes of him in a classist sense.
Yes, 100%.
She's way above him.
He's a citizen, but he's not a wealthy one.
Yeah, class-wise.
Right. And that's why they've come here, because they don't think anyone of any importance would ever notice them.
Yeah, and he's trying to do the Aladdin thing, right?
Yeah, he's I'm going to go to somewhere cheap but exotic, and that will distract you from the fact that it's cheap and I don't have any money.
Yeah.
It's a magic trick.
Well, yeah, and you don't have to worry about the Sultan's guards picking you up.
That's true.
That's right. Yeah.
Street rat.
what is useful or valuable to me? I feel like this is the manipulative part, but it's like, what buttons can we push here that will make one of them off kilter? I kind of think I know, which is like, oh, hey, look, a citizen, you know?
I mean, yeah, he's useful in that he has an armband, but also if that's what you're going for, I think it's he's trying to get her to drink, and so like that's like he's trying to get her to be like he's manic pixie, he's manic pixie dream girling her, right? He's trying to get her to lighten up and be more fun and for her to assume that comes from him, right? That he's the source of her fun side.
Hey Sean, do you feel bad about this motherfucker anymore?
No. in like in less and less degrees.
No, like, ugh.
I'm trying to figure out. There's like two things I feel like I'm trying to figure out which angle to go at this from, because either Risa goes upstairs, changes, and tries to bump her out of the picture, or Risa stays like this, like stays all dressed up and
threatens to bump him out of the picture.
Yeah,
I think
like, and then takes her away.
I think the fact that he wants her to drink is out into getting him to drink too much. I think that's where he's vulnerable. That's the opening.
I think so too. I mean, I feel like he's got to model the behavior he wants to see in her.
Risa, can you hold your liquor? Because we could have him have his masculinity feel threatened and have to like outdrink another citizen man who's like dashing in the army.
Right.
I mean, yeah.
Like, I've heard worse plans, right? And like, because control of the cups, we could water yours down.
I was gonna say, also, you could poison. I mean, like, when I deliver them, I can make sure to give one to another, and so.
Yeah, exactly. I feel like a plan. I feel like this information. I feel like a plan is coming together.
I also feel like this plan is happening with like lots of like PC or
secret PCI language.
Secret PCI language, right? Like raised eyebrows and like nods and like turning and
and also I feel like it helps that like the crackle of the fire and like the boiling of the pot like are like a little loud. So like whenever you come back to get like the next thing, we have like cover for like a very quick whispered conversation,
10-second conversation, right?
Yeah. I think, Sean, I reckon there's one other question on here that I would like to ask.
Go for it.
That's a specific one, and then we can get the bonus one. What threatens me/us here?
That's what I was going to go for as well.
She does. She is like a glass Pandora's box, right? Like there are a lot of consequences if bad things happen to her.
Yeah.
Don't throw stones in a glass Pandora's box.
Yeah.
Yeah, we should ensure that she makes it home safely and unscathed.
Yeah, because like
that she's like, oh, that drunken boar, he like stayed there and got drunk and then got robbed in an alleyway. What a dumbass! Like that's what we want the narrative.
Yeah, what you don't want is for people to have, because it's the middle of the day, for people to have seen her go into your establishment and then anything bad happen, right?
Yeah, like, no, exactly. Yeah.
So, Anya, I think Risa or Rise could like take many approaches here.
Yeah.
The White Knight, which is uber gross, but like might be a good one if we make him into the total tool, like by getting him really hammered. As well, instead of competing with him for more macho-ness, you could show up as the reasonable one that isn't trying to like
and then get her out of here. Yeah.
But I'm Carrick's and Johnny have been doing a lot, so I don't want to like overstep there.
My problem is that like I feel like doing this as Rise is going to have the most effect, but it is also going to be the most dangerous.
Yes.
Seems like the right choice then.
Which is why you should do it.
That seems like you have two compelling reasons to do
Yeah.
it. Then.
Yeah.
It sounds like
Anya,
you're attempting to
Desperate, great. Let's do
desperate
it.
Great. Like
Get that
shit,
XP.
roll crits. Like
Yeah. But let's do that after the
you
break.
got one more question.
Tell us a fun thing.
Tell you something new or interesting. He is from a group of families that somehow acquired citizenship at some point. That were not always citizens and acquired it.
See, why you gotta do that, Ash? Now you gotta go make me feel bad for this guy again.
Like not him. Like a while ago. Like easily before the revolution. But
Sure.
like back in the day, somehow these people who were not citizens, because of their nationality and ethnicity, became citizens. But
Can I make it sad?
I mean, do you want to flip a token? Because
Yeah, I kind of want to flip a token. Is
talk to me and we'll see if it's worth a token.
Yeah, is he from the same like ethnic background as Carrick's like non-citizen parent? And so like that side of the family are all the people that his family like left behind when they were like, no, like fuck all of these people who we're gonna other now, like who aren't like us. We're not like the dirty people. We're a model minority.
Yeah, right.
Let us be
and
citizens.
they came here because they were like, there's some citizens here who are like us. But
Yeah.
like, because you don't have the
Yeah, and so there's this like gross condescending edge to my every interaction with him because he knows that we are kind of like each other, but my ancestors were too stupid or too primitive to get on the gravy train.
yeah. Yep.
Right.
No, I'm happy
And
for you to flip a
often-
token for that.
The way you step up is by stepping on someone else,
yeah.
right? So it's not even so much like, yay, we got citizenship. It was probably, we threw you under the bus.
To get
We called everyone else from our home, these horrible things in order to prove that we're better than them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're different.
Was that sad enough, everyone?
Yeah,
Did I
that's
do
sad
the right
enough.
job.
Yep.
Yeah,
Legit,
no, it
good
works
job.
for me.
Cool.
Yay!
All
I
right.
did it.
Well, we'll jump into our first break, and we'll be back in a few minutes, Chad.
Awesome.
Back soon.
I'm going to go eat because after that description, I'm really hungry.
Yeah, fair. All right, back
back.
soon.